Which side do you think I'm going to be on? Side of the French or the side of the Muslims? Well, it's kind of funny. I'm usually always on the side of the Muslims, not Islam or Islamists or the Quran or Muhammad or Orthodox Islam, but the Muslim people. As you know, I love them. They're closer to my heart than pretty much anybody else. Now, in France, I think it's disgusting how France has reacted to the Muslims. I think there are many propagandist Muslims in America, and America keeps coddling to them. I think France is the exact opposite. Uh, it's glad to coddle to the extremist Muslims, but as for the Muslims on the street, they do them wrong. Absolutely. France it's despicable. I had recently seen a conversation with Mark Stein. I think it was done on C-SPAN or some TV like that. About 58-minute long session of somebody sitting down and asking various questions and just talking to him. And he brought this up, and I said, you know what? I don't think I made a video about that. So if you look at the riots that happened a few years ago, maybe 5 years, 6 years ago, in Paris, where something like 400 cars got torched, that was bound to happen. Muslims are not welcome into French society. Americans try to talk about France. Oh, it's so beautiful. Well, maybe for the white people, but and I say that hating to say that because Arabs are absolutely white people. Muslims are white people, unless you happen to be a Muslim who is not white and you convert. But the Islamic lands such as Syria, Turkey, these Bosnia, these are white people. And Arabs in America, if you are Arab and you're in America, the white says North African, Middle Eastern, European, has that in brackets, and has something called white non-Hispanic, which I cringe at because I'm like, oh, hey, I'm white, white non-Hispanic. Oh, I guess I'm not. And then this is multiracial, and I usually mark other or don't want to say. If not, then by law I have to mark Hispanic. I don't know. I'll get into that another time. I think I already made a video about that. But in France and in many countries in Europe, they have what's called second and third generation immigrants. Your grandparents can immigrate to France, and their grandchildren, their grandchildren, will not be a citizen, will not be accepted into French society, even though that's the only country you've ever known. It's amazing how France can be seen as this great bastion of liberal progressives, and yet be the most not even nationalist. It's not nationalism. It's straight up fascism of French first type of garbage. And we see those sentiments played out in Quebec. It's atrocious the way the Europeans treat the Muslims as just these massive swarming hordes of people who, oh, they're the people who wash the dishes. And if you talk to French people about it, they're very disgusted at the fact that these foreigners are there. France got exactly what it deserved, as far as I'm concerned. Uh, if I was in France, yeah, I'd probably be blowing stuff up too and smashing cars. I would have never come to Christianity, that's for sure. Well, my parents probably wouldn't. Well, we can theorize all we want. But yeah, it's disgusting the way Europe treats Muslims. It's nowhere like America. America, the Muslims can be part of America and can be proud. They can share in the American dream. This cannot happen in Europe. That's why Europe, and I've been saying this for 15 years. I said we're going to make great pets. 15 years ago, I was smiling, saying you're going to make great pets because Islam is coming, and it is. In America, no, I can't see that. In Europe, absolutely. Maybe it'll happen in America. America's going to have to become much more like Europe. It's going to have to become Obama's America. In Europe, the Europeans are getting exactly what they deserve. They didn't like their countries. They didn't want them. They were anti-nationalists. They were bitching and whining, but they didn't want to let the immigrants. They wanted them to come. They wanted them to work the filthy jobs, but they didn't want them to be equal citizens. Now they're getting it right between the eyes, and they're getting kicked in the teeth. Uh, Either Europe needs to change, or it's going to die. And Europe is not used to change. It's down with Europe now. These countries that have prided themselves on being so integrated and we're so advanced, and I've heard so many people, Germans coming over here talk about France. Oh, it's so much more progressive and it's less racist. And now there are two schools in Berlin that have separate entrances for Muslims. Does this remind you anything? Does this remind you of the South in the 1940s? Yeah. It's goodbye Europe. Maybe England will be around, maybe, but yeah, France, you did the Muslims wrong, and now they're gonna do it to you.